All right, you guys, check it out real quick. Gonna be dropping some parts off to get powdered today. So first things first, thank you for joining, all that good stuff, y'all. So off the rip, we have brand new intake horn I'm gonna show you guys, and we have the turbo came in. It's the S468, so you guys are gonna like that. I wanted you guys to see the turbo pre-powdered before I powdered it. That way you can, you know, aesthetics and all that good stuff, y'all. So go ahead, smash the like button, tell me what you think, all that good stuff. Thank you guys. Oh my goodness. Y'all see this? Boom, baby. Stainlessdiesel.com. This is it. This is the 5-blade super core stainless diesel S468 turbo T4 1.0 AR. That's the only one they offer. This is going to be the second gen swap turbo setup that I run on the dually. Obviously, this is non-VGT. So just for a size comparison, that is a T4 housing. That is a T6 housing. Way bigger. But this is going to do it. This is it. This thing is beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is probably my favorite part. Man, this is going to be nice. Such a nice setup. Alright, so we're going to take off the compressor cover housing. I want you guys to see the turbo before I got powder coated. We're going to take off the compressor cover housing, going to powder that. Now we come over here, we have a Banks Monster Ram intake manifold. Alright, yes, you can still get these, okay? These are going to be for the 6.7 Cummins engine if you have it for an off-road application, so it's like a buggy, or you modified like a, you know, a sand dune type vehicle, right? This is the 4-inch one. This is going to be going off, dropped off to get powdered. And also over there, I have my thermostat housing. It's kind of hard to see, but you see the thermostat housing right there. That is also going to be getting dropped off. All of this is going to get powdered, not this. All of this is going to get powdered to losing cherry. It's going to look sick when it's all said and done, man. I'm so excited. So had to let you guys see this real quick. I can't wait to put that on. That's gonna be, this is gonna, the ultimate comeback is happening. I'm telling y'all right now. Gotta speak, oh, upside down. Gotta speak that thing into existence, y'all. So, gonna go ahead, drop this off to the powder folks. Whenever I get it back, I get it back. We still gotta powder the second gen kit when it comes in. So the intake elbow and the hot side pipe will get powdered. I don't know about the hot side pipe yet. I might leave it stainless. I'm not sure yet, but it's gonna get, something's gonna get colored, all right? So if you're liking what the direction we're going, drop a comment, drop a like button, subscribe. We got a lot more stuff coming, all right? We back up in this thing. What is going on, my YouTube family? I hope y'all are chilling, having another good day. Took some time off work today to do a little work on the truck, make some money, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff, y'all. So we got a lot of stuff happening. If you guys haven't been keeping up with the recent videos on the channel, I highly encourage you to check out the last 2-3 videos on the channel to get you spun back up. Long story short, we're in the middle of a rebuild on the 6.7 Cummins, the dually. She's sitting out here all sad and depressed for now, but it's only temporary, okay? But today's video, we're gonna be doing a grid heater delete. So my boy Jay over at Banks, they went ahead and hooked it up, sent out a, oh, let me get y'all real quick. There we go. Went ahead and sent out a grid heater delete. We also got some other stuff we're gonna be doing as well in terms of the intake setup and whatnot. So I think it's gonna be real good. But long story short, got a new hat from Banks. Support your local diesel shops. Now, I wear the hat, but I kind of consider myself my own little diesel shop since I do all my work myself for the most part. So support myself. Let's go. And then we got the shirt, right? 5th gen Ram. Even though I don't own one, I got a 4th gen. It is what it is, right? But today's video, y'all, we're gonna be dropping the grid heater delete install, talking about why it's important to do this install, this modification upgrade to your Cummins, specifically your 6.7 Cummins, okay? A lot of mixed opinions, all that stuff like that. I'm not here to say yay or nay or which one is better, which one's worse. I'm just here to give you my opinion and give you my justification why I'm doing this on my truck. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Until then, y'all make sure y'all like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I want to hear what you guys got to say out of this video. Thanks for joining. All right, you guys, so here it is. I already opened the box up just because, you know, I'm that type of person where I can't wait, you know what I'm saying? But as soon as you open the box up, we have this beautiful We have the beautiful grid here plate right here. Instructions with the gasket, so that's cool. And then we got here, these are your spacers that are going to be for your fuel rail, right? So there's 4 holes where your fuel rail installs at. You put them there, put the bolts through, tighten them down, and then this is an extension cable for your IAT. It's like your inlet air temp sensor. It basically senses it, so this is an extension for it, because once you screw it in, the factory harness might be a little short. So if it is, you use this extension harness, which is, I'm pretty sure this is the only company I know that includes these. No other company for their grid here deletes include this extension harness, which I think is very convenient and very professional, right? So we got that. And then you come over here and then you have this beautiful piece. This is one of those things where it sucks because something's so nice looking and you can't see, I don't know, 80% of it, but right off the rip right there, this is the front side of it. It has the banks engraved into it, 100% billet, CNC machine, super clean, right? That's where your sensor is going to screw into, like I was telling you guys, right? So this thing is just gorgeous, right? And then it comes with another gasket for the bottom. I highly encourage you to not reuse your gaskets either on the grid, on the intake plumbing plate, or on the intake manifold, right? So they include the new gasket. I highly encourage you to use brand new ones, just because, especially if you're taking the factory one off, those gaskets have been crushed for years and you don't want to be reusing those again, because they're probably not going to seal as effective as when they were brand new. So always put new gaskets on. Last thing you need is a boost leak, losing air, precious air to the engine. So we have that right here. We're going to head over to the truck and kind of show you guys what we got going on over there and why we're doing this, and go from there. All right, guys, real quick before we head to the truck, got to put this in. So this right here is a Smedden S475 96 1.32 turbo. This is a T6 housing. This is for sale. Obviously, I bought this because the plans was I was going to run this as my add-a compound turbo. That changed since we have the 2nd gen swap kit on the way. So I really can't do nothing with this, man. But this is 100% brand new. Has never been used ever before. Just want to sell it to somebody who probably can put it to better work than I can. This setup right here is perfect. This is what you want if you plan on running an add a turbo kit on your truck, right? So if you want to run an add a turbo and you got a stock turbo, this is the perfect turbo to pair with it. Or if you have a slightly bigger turbo like a 63 mil or even a 64 mil, because the plan was I was going to run this with the 64 mil with the S475 over it. This is 100% brand new, has never been spun, nothing. I mean, you can see the plugs right there, right? Brand new. And then, like I said, this is a T6 housing, so I mean, that's pretty standard whenever you get your, and you see right there where it's stamped in 1.32. That's your AR right there. So, brand new, has never been used. Let me show you guys the turbine wheel real quick, just so you guys know. All right. Oh, man. It's hard to get in there. But she's in there. Brand new. No soot, no nothing. So, this is for sale. It's $850 shipped to you. You just, if you want it, shoot me a DM or DM me on Instagram, everything_diesel, or shoot me an email, everythingdiesel@gmail.com. If you're interested in this turbo, this is a perfect time to get it, considering Black Friday. So if you planned on buying a compound kit, you can save some money right now by buying a turbo, just to kind of help yourself out. So it's for sale. Come get it. All right, y'all. So as we come over here to the truck, if you haven't been watching, right, we're doing a grid here delete today. Reason being is because turbo exploded, right, and pretty much oil went back into my engine because I was on the highway. I don't like this. This is disgusting, right? You shouldn't be happy knowing that your truck is running like this right now. 9 times out of 10, even if you never had oil go through your system, if you take off your intake manifold, right, your intake horn, it's probably going to look all black and sooty like this, just not as wet and oily, right? That's not good. Restriction, no airflow. Trucks is gonna breathe a little harder, right? So by doing the grid here delete, obviously you can tell the cutout is going to be wide open. So pretty much whatever air your turbo is pushing to the engine, 100% of it is going to go into your cylinder heads without any sort of impedance or imbalance in terms of airflow. You know, you're going to be able to have higher volumes of CFM flowing through there, which means more power, more combustion, all that good stuff, right? So to do this job, it's pretty straightforward. all your fuel lines are gonna have to come off. My lighting's not the best. All your fuel lines are gonna have to come off, and then you're gonna have to disconnect the fuel rail, which is pretty straightforward. This right here is your grid heater harness that goes right there, right? You're gonna go ahead and disconnect that. All that stuff's gonna come out, but I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. It's not a daunting job, it's just takes some time. One thing I will do before we even start to take apart stuff is I'm gonna come up here with some degreaser. There's a lot of grit, dirt, and sand and stuff. I'm gonna spray all that off the fuel rail, just kind of clean it up, and then I'm gonna dry it out before we even start taking stuff apart, just so it's a little cleaner when it's time to work on all the stuff, okay? All right, y'all, I just wanted to kind of give y'all, so I came over here. I have not done a whole lot myself. All I've done so far is just unplug some stuff, really. So right on the side of your crankcase, your vent, you have these two like crankcase oil reroute lines. You have one here, and then you have one back here. All right, go ahead and pull those out. I already tucked the one back there down. I kind of moved it out the way. This one here, you can just, you know, just get it somewhere out of the way, just so it's not always there like that. And the next thing you want to do is go ahead and disconnect your injector harness connectors here. All you do is push down on that little tab right there, and push down on that and pull out. Do not pull it from the wires, pull it from the sides. You got to squeeze it real good to get it out. Like, you know, if it's in there like this, grab it like that. Don't grab from here, because if you rip one of those wires out, you're gonna have to pretty much repin it or get a new harness and splice it in. So we got all this stuff disconnected here. I also went ahead and disconnected, and I already moved it out the way. This is the grid heater relay wire to cycle the grid heater. It goes right there. I went ahead and already just, you can see I took it off. It's just a 10 mil nut. Go ahead and take that nut off, and you can just get this out of the way. I'm taking mine out completely just because I'm not going to be using this anytime soon. So we're going to take that off the truck completely. So once you do that, now my harness, I had a disconnector here. This was for my switch on the fly. I just unplugged it. A couple of these connectors look the same, so I marked it with a little smiley face and a star, just to remember that this is the one for the CSP5 switch. You disconnect that one. Once your injector harnesses are disconnected, you have, depending on your truck, if it's a stock application, you're gonna have some connectors plugged in on that side over there. If you do, just unplug them, right? And then what I'll do is here, is I'm going to, well, I can't do it yet because I got to undo that one back there. But I'm basically going to lay the wires out of the way, you know what I'm saying? Just to clear up some space here. So let me get back here. Back there, there's that guy right there. It's connected to a ring clamp type deal. I'm just going to pop that out, kind of get it out the way real quick. All right, y'all. So I went ahead and I laid the harness out of the way here. You ain't got to get it all the way out. One more thing you can do is disconnect the dipstick tube. Get that way you can kind of move this out the way. But for now, we're gonna leave that there because it's not really causing any issues. Yeah. So now what you're gonna go ahead and do, once you have all your stuff out the way, right, and you have access to all your fuel lines and your fuel rail, this part's pretty straightforward, y'all. So all you're gonna do is start taking off the lines. So go ahead, get you a 3/4 inch wrench. You can see I already broke this one loose, right? And you're going to take the lines off. A little pro tip, or to help yourself out, as you take each fuel line off, put them in the order you take them off in. Why? Because when you go to install them, you're not sitting here playing, you know, a puzzle game trying to remember which line went to which cylinder. If you take them off and lay them in order, like on your table or somewhere, right? Take them off, lay them in the order you took them off at. When you go to install them, it's just going to be reversed. And then also, the number one is going to get replaced with the Banks fuel line because of the setup we're going to be running on this. So just keep that in mind if you're doing that setup. It was one more. Oh yeah, and then on the back of the fuel rail. Now it sucks. It really does suck. But way on the back of the fuel rail, there is a connector that plugs into the back of it. Pretty sure that's for your rail pressure sensor. All right. Trying to get it back there, but on the very back side is your rail pressure sensor. You do have to take that off to get the fuel rail out. Be patient. Don't snap it or break it, right? Take your time trying to get that thing out, just because there it is. just because you don't want to break that, right? So it does kind of suck trying to get it off, but just take your time, be patient. Once you get it off, it's going to help you out. Well, you need to get it off anyway. So that's where we're at now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start taking all the fuel lines off, and then once I get all the lines off, I'll come back with y'all. One thing to keep in mind is you want to kind of make sure you have a clean area around here. This is why I sprayed and like cleaned down everything before starting. I don't want any dirt flying around to get into the fuel lines or into the fuel rail. Just keep that in mind. If you're super paranoid, you can put them in Ziploc bags when you take them off as you go, just to keep them contaminant free and all that stuff. So this is where we at though. Alright, so I went ahead, got all the fuel lines off. As you can see, they're all off. That back one back there, a little trick, if you're doing a grid here delete, you don't have to take it fully off, because it kind of sucks putting it on and getting back there. So all I did is, or all I do whenever I do these, is I just crack that back line loose, connected to the connector tube. I just break it loose, and then I loosen it and I spin it up. It's out the way, it's good right there, it doesn't leak or anything. So all this is done now. So now what I want to do next is I want to disconnect that rail pressure sensor on the back of it. But when it's installed, it is extremely crappy. It's pretty shitty to get to take off. So what I do is I unbolt the rail from the grid heater plenum or the intake plenum. It's just 4 bolts, 10 mils, okay? Go ahead and take those off so the rail can come up, and then you get it out the way. And then one more thing I forgot to mention, 2 more lines. You want to go ahead and undo this banjo fitting bolt right here, and then disconnect this fuel line coming from your CP3 pump. You just disconnect it, let it kind of chill, do its own thing, and then yeah, go ahead and lift up the rail, unplug it from back there. It's a lot easier to unplug it once you lift it up off the plenum. You'll see what I'm saying once you actually do it. And then that's it. And then we'll take the rail out. After the rail, we just got to unbolt the plenum bolts and take the grid heater bolts, and she's out. Alright y'all, so I went ahead and unbolted the fuel rail from the block. So as you can see here, it's obviously slid forward, but the wire is still connected. So if you follow the wire, you can actually loop it over, route it over that loop right there, to where you can pull it up here to where you can get easier access. You see I'm holding in one hand, right? You get easier access to undoing that clip, just because that clip is it's kind of shitty doing it back there, y'all. So just little tips, right? So we're gonna take this off and then unbolt the grid heater from the engine.
Ryan Little.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I went ahead and opted to do this. So as you can see, it's nasty. It's straight up nasty, man. There's no way around this. Yeah, like, what is this? Diesel? Yeah, look at all that. All this diesel oil. This is oil from when my turbo exploded. So I'm gonna clean all this up in here. I already tried using a flathead screwdriver. You see here I was scraping. See all that soot, and yeah, so this is awesome. no matters. I'm gonna clean up this as best as I can, get the vacuum back there, try to clean up as much oil as I can get. And crap, I mean, look at this right here, man. I scraped that all up in the middle, a matter of like 10 seconds. So I got my work cut out for me, y'all. But at this point, this will be the time when you get the new grid heater, drop it in, and go from there. But I got some stuff I got to do before we can even get to that point. So, BRB. All right, y'all. I went ahead and cleaned it up as best as I can. It was way worse, way more stuff. I scraped out a lot of stuff. The drag is basically soaked in, I mean, you can see all the sludge and stuff, man. It's pretty messy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the Banks grid heater delete plate, get that set up, and then go from there. Go ahead and take off your intake air temp sensor from your old one. Just take a 1-inch wrench or adjustable, take it off, put it on the new one. It might not be needed, but I did it just for the warm and fuzzies. I put a little Teflon tape on the threads, some thread pipe tape, You probably don't have to do it, but I'm doing it just because that's just something I like to do, personal preference. But you don't have to. But we got her cleaned up as best as possible, so we're gonna go ahead and get the new plate in there, set her up, okay? I'm not gonna wash it right now, it's still dirty. All right, so we finished up the job for the grid heater install, grid heater delete install, y'all. So my camera battery died while I was filming, y'all, or filming. So let me get these out real quick. Yeah, I got a new zip tie for that. Anyway, sorry. So as you can see, it's done. This is it. So it's fully installed. Clean the inside out. You guys saw that earlier as best as we can, just for what it is. I mean, I'm anticipating a little bit of oil on the first start coming out the cylinder just because there's oil in there. I know for a fact there's oil in there. I might turn the engine over by hand maybe like 100 times or 50 times to see if it can manually push that oil out the cylinder banks. What it seems like happened is when that turbo went out due to being on the highway, right, and so much oil was going through the entire intercooler system, right, it seemed like this bitch was running on oil for a little bit. One of the subscribers, you guys commented on this on the last video or 2 videos ago. I honestly believe that's what happened. So far everything's all good though, so we won't know until the day we start it up, so I'll figure something out in between then. But anyways, nonetheless, this thing is installed. It looks awesome, you guys. Very nice. It almost sucks that it's going to be covered up pretty much forever, just because the intake horn is going to be here soon. That's that powder getting powder coated. I'll have a separate video for that as well. So right here, one thing I wanted to feature to show y'all is the harness for the intake air temp sensor. Right there is the harness. You can see the extension is coming out, and then boom, right there is where it plugs in at. That is the Banks harness that comes in there, included with the grid heater delete kit, which I think is awesome because that cable, that wire is not long enough to reach all the way up there, because they do relocate the sensor from the outboard side at an angle to the inboard pointing straight up. This thing looks good. Everything's all buttoned back together. Another piece to feature mention is this is the Banks provided fuel line that allows you to install the intake without having to shave anything off the intake like other traditional intake horns. So this is super awesome, super clean, and like it's well put together. Everything's all back together. Honestly, the same way you took everything off is the same way you put it back on, except backwards. Make sure you torque the intake plenum bolts. 18 foot-pounds is the torque. My torque wrench did 20 foot-pounds, so it's not going to kill it if you torque it 2 foot-pounds over. It'll be okay. So everything's all tight. All the fuel lines are tightened up. Obviously, the first time you go to start your truck, it might take a little longer to start it up because the rail is going to have to pressurize again. Because usually when you crack the lines open, any fuel in there is going to leak out. So it might take a little bit longer to start up. Don't freak out if it's your first time starting it. Just start it, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times it might take, and it'll fire up. So don't freak out over that. Biggest thing is making sure your rail pressure sensor is connected on the back, because if that is not connected, then you will not have your truck will not start, because the truck won't sense rail pressure. Yeah, so this is it, man. It's an easy job. A lot of people freak out. Another disclaimer: common rail injection systems, right? You don't have to worry about bleeding them, right? I know people think about 12 valves and the VPs. You don't have to crack each line and bleed it. I mean, hell, there's even a warning here on the side of the valve cover that legitimately says, do not open do not open high pressure fuel system with engine running. So like, you don't have to bleed it. This is the common rail systems are self-bleeding. All it needs is the set amount of PSI to start, which I think it's like 24,000 PSI is what's required for start. 24 or 32, I don't remember. But nonetheless, you just connect everything. Once the engine is running, do a leak check, make sure there's no leaks anywhere, and then you're done. Super simple, man. So this job is officially over with. Now that we're done with that, we'll come over here. What are you doing?
Right there.
I took it out of my car. So we come over here. And one of the things that I wanted to show you guys, the shadow is real bad out here right now. Okay, so this is the factory grid heater. Obviously, this ain't it. You know, the gasket's crushed, burnt on there, right? But what everybody talks about is that guy. That is the nut everybody freaks out over about falling off and going into your engine. That one, and then sometimes people say this one here too, but it's this one is the one that will fall off. Now, y'all, I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all, man. I personally don't know or have seen anybody who's had this issue on their truck on a 6.7 Cummins. I really haven't, personally. I know it's happened out there. It's a thing, right? But I personally believe that the fatality rate of that nut destroying your engines, I don't think it's as big as what everybody out there is saying it is. I really don't. Brand new 6.7 Cummins owners, I see it on Facebook, I see it on the forums. They're all scared and freaking out over the grid heater nut falling off into the truck. I personally don't believe it's that big of a deal or an issue, because if that was the case, man, Ram would have had a revision for that a long time ago, man. Or maybe a recall. Some people might say, well, you don't have to worry about it till you get high mileage around 150, 200,000 miles. That might be the case, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it can't happen. Like, I know it can happen. It's just, I've never seen or heard or anybody saying that they've experienced that. Maybe they take care of it before it's a thing. I don't know. But at the end of the day, all I'm gonna say is that's just one more reason why you should do grid heater delete. I'm doing it because that thing looks disgusting and it looks like a restriction point, which is no bueno. In addition to, I don't really need it because I'm in the South. That's another thing too. If you want a grid heater, right? So if you live in the South, man, you don't need a grid heater. I'm just gonna leave it as simple as that. I lived in North Carolina, where obviously I think the coldest it got when I was there was like 29, 27 degrees. And even then my truck fired up like it was nothing. So, and if you live in the South, you don't need a grid heater. I'm just being real. You crank your truck up, you know, let it idle for 2-3 minutes. It's actually not good to let diesels idle for long times, especially on warm up. You start it up, let it run for like 2 minutes, and start driving. That's the best way to get your engine to warm up fastest. Or if you have a block heater, the block heater, in my opinion, is the better way, because your oil temp is already going to be at 150 degrees, or yeah, it's going to be at like 150, 120 degrees when you go to start it up. That is the real way. That's what you really need to do. This air intake system, yeah, it is what it is, man. I wish Cummins would have just had glow plugs like Ford and Chevy, but it is what it is. So we got that off. This is done. This is gonna go in the trash because I have no value for this, y'all. So other things, ooh, almost forgot. So I did this off camera just because it was kind of, I didn't see the value in making a video, but I did went ahead and change my serpentine belt, put a brand new heavy duty Continental belt on, and then I also changed my belt tensioner just because the truck has 167,000 miles, so I figured it was time. So we got a new belt, new tensioner. The fan clutch is coming off. So today from Rock Auto, my shipment came in. The shipment came in for the fan clutch adapter. So if you did not know, we're doing the fan clutch conversion kit on this truck. So we're going to swap it from a electronic one to a mechanical fan clutch. Why? Because I've noticed that on the forums that this is actually a low-key issue with these 6.7s. Those factory electronic controlled fan clutches are garbage, man. I didn't have an issue on my 3rd gen, but this truck is, I put a brand new Mopar one on there from Geno's. Didn't do anything. The truck at a stop, it'll warm up and AC gets warm. I never hear the fan clutch kick in. The only time it actually works is when I'm on the highway, obviously, because I'm going forward. So this is the new fan clutch. This one I got on Rock Auto. This is a heavy duty or severe duty cycle mechanical clutch, brand new, no OE or reman or nothing like that. Yeah, this is it. So what we're missing is the actual hub adapter. So what this mounts to. The one I ordered came in the mail. I ordered it from Diesel Power Products. It came in the mail, but they didn't send me the full assembly. They only sent me the hub housing. I ordered the full assembly to where all I have to do is unbolt it, bolt it up, and put this on, and I'm done. So I had to send the old one back, and then today they shipped out the new hub assembly housing. So whenever that comes in, there you go. We'll get that started. So this is going to be a very good video right here. That's one of the reasons why I changed the fan belt and I changed the belt tensioner. So yeah, we got that. What else we got? We got parts off. The turbo cover, if you guys didn't see, turbo cover is off at powder. This is the stainless diesel 468 5-blade Mafia Super Core. So that is at powder, but check that thing out. Yeah, whew. That's about to be a sick turbo. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's been a while since I did a grid heater delete on the channel. Well, actually, no, I did one on my buddy Dick's truck, his 5th gen. But before that, it's been a while. The last time I did one was on the 3rd gen. I also have to do another grid heater delete on my buddy Nick's truck. For those that don't know, which probably no one does, Nick is the dude that helped me out by picking my truck up when it broke down up in Rancho Cucamonga and towed it back to San Diego. So I told Nick, whatever you need, I got. So I got some parts I'm throwing on his truck for him on the house. But yeah, this is where we're at, y'all. So got the grid here delete done. It looks beautiful. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, you guys, because some things are going to be changing on the channel in terms of promo codes and discount codes and stuff like that. I'll talk about it later in a later video. It's a little late now, so I just don't want to waste time about that and whatnot. So until next time, you guys, thank you for joining. If you got any questions, drop your questions down below. If you need a grid here delete, go ahead and hit up bankspower.com. Got the merch, got the hat, you know what I'm saying? So we got all the stuff, right? We out here slugging and whatnot. So go ahead and hit the website up. Until next time, you guys, thank you for joining. Take care, be safe, peace out, and I'll see you guys later.